The savannah before sunrise is a world suspended between darkness and awakening. A thin layer of cold presses against the earth, settling over dry grass, cracked soil, and burrows carved deep into the land. The wind drifts low, carrying the distant scent of carrion, dust, and the remains of the night's violence. Beneath a fallen acacia trunk, hidden inside a narrow den lined with old leaves and claw-marked soil, a honey badger gives her final push. A small, hairless pup slips into the world blind, pink, fragile beyond belief. Unlike its terrifying adult reputation, a newborn honey badger is one of the most vulnerable infants on Earth. It cannot stand, it cannot crawl, it cannot defend itself in any way. Its mother draws it close immediately, curling her body around it in a den she has fiercely guarded for days. In the wild, most honey badger pups born outside a secure burrow never survive their first week. Above ground, the savannah stirs. Hyenas finish their night patrol with low, guttural calls vibrating across the plains. A leopard slinks into the shade, its coat blending with the brush. Snakes glide quietly through the tall grass, hunting before the heat takes hold. Any of them would kill a honey badger pup in seconds. Even the slightest scent drifting from the den could betray its existence. Days pass, and the pup remains helpless, relying entirely on its mother's warmth and milk. She leaves only when necessity demands it, slipping through the grass with a silent, lethal confidence earned by a lifetime of defying predators. Honey badgers are legendary for their aggression, their fearlessness, their refusal to back down even from lions. But the cub waiting in the den has none of that yet. Strength must be taught. Endurance must be shaped. When the mother hunts, she does so with purpose. She tears open termite mounds, digs rodents from the earth with astonishing speed, and raids beehives despite the furious swarms that sting her thick skin without mercy. Honey badgers have one of the most varied diets in the animal kingdom, and they must, because scarcity defines their landscape. Food is never guaranteed. Danger always is. Each time she returns, the pup cries softly, sensing her presence before it can even see. It grows slowly, its fur emerging in wisps, its eyes opening to a dim, cramped den that has kept it alive. But the world outside waits impatiently, and it is a world defined by conflict, hunger, and unending competition. At 3 months old, the cub takes its first unsteady steps outside the den. The earth feels enormous beneath its feet. The sun presses hot against its back. The sounds of the savannah, buzzing insects, bird calls, the distant rumble of hooves overwhelm its senses. But its mother is beside it, guiding every movement, correcting every mistake. Lessons begin immediately. She teaches the cub how to dig not with hesitation, but with ferocity. How to sniff out prey hidden beneath layers of sand and clay. How to flip stones and logs with surprising strength. How to stand its ground even when fear gnaws at its insides. Honey badger cubs stay with their mothers for more than a year, learning techniques so advanced that scientists recognize them as some of the most intelligent foragers in Africa. But training comes with danger. The scent of a foraging pair draws attention. A leopard appears one evening, ghost silent, muscles coiled. The mother stands tall, growling with a violence that belies her size. She charges reckless, fearless, buying her cub precious seconds to hide. Predators often retreat from honey badgers, not because they cannot kill them, but because the cost of the fight is too high. Still, one misstep can end everything. As months pass, the cub grows bolder. It chases beetles, wrestles with fallen branches, mimics its mother's relentless digging. But adolescence brings arrogance, and arrogance invites consequence. One day, the cub wanders too far. A python strikes silent, swift, coils wrap around it. Breath tightens. Bones tremble. The mother explodes from the brush in a frenzy, biting and clawing until the snake releases its grip. The cub survives, but the lesson is carved deeply. In this world, independence is earned through pain. By its first year, the young honey badger begins hunting alongside its mother with surprising skill. Together, they raid burrows, chase rodents, topple beehives in storms of angry wings. But a greater lesson awaits the lesson of solitude. Honey badgers do not remain in family units. They are born into companionship, only to be shaped for a life alone. The day comes quietly. The mother simply walks farther than usual, pausing only once to look back. The cub stands in the tall grass, breathing heavily, watching the only protection it has ever known disappear over a rise in the earth. The savannah stretches endlessly around it, hot, unforgiving, alive with threats. But something has changed. The fear remains, the danger remains, the uncertainty remains. Yet beneath it all lies a spark, a tiny ember of defiance inherited from its mother, a refusal to bow to the hostile world that raised it. And in that moment of separation, the young honey badger understands the truth of its existence. That being born a honey badger is not a blessing of strength, but a trial of fragility. That survival is not defined by fearlessness, but by learning to turn weakness into ferocity, helplessness into mastery, vulnerability into dominance. That the world does not shape honey badgers gently, it sharpens them through hunger, conflict, and relentless challenge. In the end, the savannah remembers only the creatures who rise from their smallest, weakest beginnings and forge themselves into legends.